Hello friends, I am Amogim, working as assistant professor in English in GFTCW Chikbarapur. Now I will be dealing with the topic Introduction to Talkative Man and theme of Talkative Man. It is session number 38, which comes under subject General English 4th semester BA. So let us look at the theme and introduction of the talkative man. Hello friends, let us look at the introduction to talkative man now. In this slide, I will be talking about the introduction to the novel, that is The Talkative Man. Talkative Man is the shortest novel of R.K. Narayan. It was published in the year 1982. R.K. Narayan was in his late 70s when this novella was published. This story is based in the fictional territory of Malgudi. He presents an utterly enchanting world here. Like his other stories, he writes about the intricacies of Indian society in his characteristic simplicity. Now, I would like to explain each point in detail. In the last video, I spoke about Arkanan as a writer, how he wrote different novels, and what are his main concerns. And I also spoke about the life of talkative man. As you all know now, that Arkanan is one of the finest Indian English novelists, and this novel, that is Talkative Man, is also a novel written by R.K. Narayan. It is the shortest novel written by R.K. Narayan. Hence, it is considered as a novella, but not a novel. So, in the in the last uh, video, I spoke about novella also. Previous to the last video, I spoke about novella also. What do you mean by novella? What is the word count there? And what are the themes? I spoke about all those things. And this novel, that is Talkative Man, is a novella because it is longer than a short story but shorter than a novel. Hence, it comes under the category of novella. And then this novel was published in the year 1982. Arkanine was in his late 70s. He was more than 70 when this novel got published. This story is based in the fictional territory of Malgudi. As I already explained you in the last video, that all the novels, all the stories of Arcanine are based in the fictional town of Malgudi, a South Indian town in which all the characters, all the story, everything is based in Malgudi. So again, in this novel also, Nayan brings in his favorite town, his favorite fictional town, that is Malgudi, and he presents a very entertaining world here. The world means the environment, the atmosphere of Malgudi is very entertaining. If you look at the fictional town of Malgudi, you feel as if you are seeing your own village. You would be when we come to know the characters in the Malgudi, we can easily relate them with the characters which we see in our villages. We can see our grandmothers, grandfathers, our fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, relatives, neighbors. We can easily relate with them because the characters of Arcane are realistic in nature. So, and at the same time, they are very entertaining also. So, we feel as if whenever we look at the village, fictional village of Malgudi, we feel as if we are in our own village. And here, like other stories or like other novels, this novel also highlights the intricacies of Indian society in a very simple manner. This novel highlights the way Indian society functions in a very entertaining manner. How Indian society looks at a particular thing when an elderly man tries to elope with a young girl, how the society reacts when the young man leaves his wife and comes to the city, how the Indian society looks at that man, and how there will be opposition from the parents when there is a prospect of love marriage. All these things are quite common in our society. So the same thing is reflected in this novel. That's why, like I said that this novel always arcane in is every novel, every story brings in the characteristics of Indian society, and he writes them in a very simple manner. He uses a very simple language. He also makes sure that entertainment would be there, some laughter would be there, so that readers they would not get bored by reading his novels. The novels of Arkenayan are very entertaining, and this novel, that is Talkative Man, is also not an exception to that. This story is a celebration of ordinariness, a detailed description of idiosyncrasies of ordinary people with which everyone can relate can be found in the novel. The intrinsic details given about the places and events is noteworthy and more important than the end of the story. He adds natural element of humor in his story. Dr. Ran, Commandant Sarsa, wife of Ran, are the main characters of the story along with TM, the central character and the narrator of the story. So these are the points given in this slide. So let us try to deal with all these points in detail. This story is a celebration of ordinariness. In each and every novel of R.K. Narayan, he celebrates ordinariness of common man of India. He is by the side of a common man of India. In his novels, common men are the heroes. Common men and women are heroines. For him, grand narration doesn't suit with him. He always brings up themes which are related to common people. He would like to celebrate their ordinariness. In every character of R.K. Narayan, we can find ordinary things. So, in other words, he always looks for ordinary things in people so that he would like to celebrate them. Thus, this novel is also celebration of ordinariness, a detailed description of idiosyncrasies of ordinary people with which everyone can relate can be found in the novel. The Indian society has its own idiosyncrasies. Every person has some way of dealing with the life, and this way of life is exactly shown in the novel. Thus, every man or every reader can relate himself or herself to the novel. The speciality of Akenaran is that the Indian reader especially, they can easily relate themselves to the characters of his novels. So thus he brings in the idiosyncrasies of ordinary people which can be found very easily in this novel. Then he also brings in the details of the places in Malgudi, and then he also brings in some events, some common events which are quite which are quite day-to-day affairs of Indian village, and he makes them entertaining. So thus, again, Narayan brings in the common people's theme in the novel. And as I said in the last slide, the element of humor is very much part of Narayan's narrative. If you are reading his novels, then you can find natural humor in it. Whenever you read novel of R.K. Narayan, you find humor in it. While reading the novel of R.K. Narayan, you can easily have a laugh. In so that is the best quality of R.K. Narayan. Now let us look at the important characters of the novel. The important characters of the novel are Dr. Ran, Commandant Sarsa, the wife of Dr. Ran. These two are the main characters along with TM, that is Talkative Man. The novel is the narrator of the novel, as well as the title of the novel is also given by with the name of the central character, that is Talkative Man. Then there are some other Malgudi people are also in the story. Clinton Nataraj, who also forms a part of the man-eater of the Malgudi, also comes in for a brief interval. The town photographers, some neighbors, the station master, and his porter are all the usual Malgudi people who live a normal life, and they're contented, and they always look happy chaps. So there is a quite common trend there's a quite common trend of writing novels for Akhil Narayan. He always brings in his characters from other novels into he always brings in characters from his other novels to the present story. Similarly, he brings in Printer Nataraj, who is a very important part of his other novel called The Man-Eater of the Malgudi. He is a printer, and he comes in during the episode of Silver Jubilee function of Lotus Club. Then there is town photographer and some neighbors. Also some they were also part of other novels, but they are again brought in here as the characters of Talkative Man. And as far as how life led by people in Malgudi, the station master and his porter and all usual Malgudi people, whether they are rich or poor, they look very normal. They lead a very contented life. They are happy with what life has given to them. Thus, they always look very charming. So this is very important, very important in the novel of R.K. Nayan, that he always brings in the happy side of life, which is always there in his fictional town called Malgudi. Now, let us look at the theme of the novel. Talkative Man is a story of a woman who makes several attempts to get her husband back. So, the main theme of the story is it is about a woman who tries to bring her husband back. She makes several attempts to bring him back. It is also the story of a journalist who is called as Talkative Man, who rescues a minor girl eloping with an elderly man, which would ultimately ruin her life. Thus, it is also a story of a journalist called TM, or Talkative Man. He rescues a minor girl, that is Girja, eloping with an elderly man, that is Mr. Ran, which would ultimately ruin Girja's life. The central theme of the novel is the relationship between Sarsa and Ran. That is the relationship between husband and wife. And this is so here in the post script he writes that this is the only story of this is only the story of a wife attempt to reclaim her erratic and elusive husband who is a wanderer and philanderer on a global scale. This is what Narayan wrote in his postscript to a talkative man. So this forms the theme of the novel. Now let's look at the last part of the novel, that is revision. Talkative Man is the shortest novel of R.K. Narayan. The story is celebration of the ordinariness. It was published in the year 1982. This story is of celebration of the ordinariness. Dr. Ran, Commandant Sarsa, wife of Ran, are the main characters of the story along with TM, that is Talkative Man. It is a story of a woman who makes several attempts to get her husband back. The central theme of the novel is about the relationship of husband and wife, that is Ran and Commandant Sarsa. This has been stated by R.K. Narayan in his postscript. So, with this, I would like to end the session now. In the next session, I would be dealing with the beginning of the story. In the coming videos, I will be dealing with the story of Talkative Man. So, till then, thank you.